Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Booth Podcast, the podcast where we talk about life, love, and the deep things that you can't talk about with anyone else. I'm your host, Dom, and with me is my co-host.
Ken, please like, comment, subscribe on this video, and tune into our Spotify if you haven't yet. And follow our socials down in the description down below. And
by the way, guys, we are also releasing a short film by next week, hopefully on Valentine's Day, depending on editing time. And it's going to be great because prior to this short film, we are releasing this podcast, which is about loving yourself. And yeah, I think it goes along with the theme well.
Yeah, definitely.
So as always, please, like you said, do all those things and enjoy
you
the
guys
episode.
Ooh, we're being sick, bro.
So what we wanted to talk about on this podcast was like a lot about loving yourself. And in loving yourself, I feel like the first thing, it starts with your insecurities. And if you're growing up as an Asian, or at least for Filipinos, we would always get comments on like, oh, you don't eat enough, you're skinny, and or like you're too fat, you should, go on diet. And it's like, bro, like, what do you want me to do?
And like, you're just a kid hearing this. You, like,
yeah.
You have like you have like no control over it.
Could you imagine just like whopping in like a party, like, oh, you're skinny. Oh my gosh, what
and
happened
like,
to you?
No, what's weird is like the tone of they're saying it,
It's
it throws you off.
It's passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're so skinny. And like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I know, like, right? Like, and being of this generation with social media, you see all these other, the girls, they like skinnier guys and they are like seeing a jawline or a muscular guy. And now you don't know where to put yourself in. Am I attractive or am I not attractive? And that, I mean, I don't know about you, but like growing up in elementary, I was a lot more on the chubbier end. And a lot of my classmates that got praised, they were just like, they were athletic, they were on the basketball team. I mean, so was I, but like I wasn't as, athletic looking as they were. And then I got more skinnier because of that. And then I go into high school, and then now a lot of the guys are more bulkier and muscular. And then now they're just like, you're too skinny. You're just bones, bro. Like, eat some more meat. What's happening? And now you just don't know. Do you get more skinny or get more muscular or fat? I don't know where to stand. And a lot of people don't understand this, but men and boys, we have insecurities too. Just as much as women care about their body weight, we care about it just as much too. We just don't know where to fit. What's the balance here?
So how did you like kind of overcome that?
I don't like,
or at least worked on it.
I just was super in the middle, right? And like I don't know what exactly to do. And then I started working out more, trying to up the weight because I was at 110 or 115, I think it was. It was funny because like I went a whole semester of gym and I was 115 at the start and then 115 at the end.
Dang.
And it seemed like nothing changed. I think this was way back in grade 9 though. But now I'm at like around 145 and I feel like that's like the best weight for me. And that all came with learning how to eat more, but not eat dirty. No dirty bulking here, and eating clean. Little cheat meals here and there, but and then working out all the time. Like I worked out like 6 times a week. One day was a rest day, and then that's how I achieved, this body that I'm much more comfortable in. It might not be the most toned, but that's just because I love my relationship with food. I don't know, man. It's hard. Especially being Filipino. A lot of guys, they're either, they're really skinny because they play a lot of basketball, or they want to feel more macho and they lift, or they just love food. And,
and like when you're Filipino in like a household or whatever, like you eat a ton of rice.
Yeah. A lot of carbs.
Just gets to you and you don't even know what to do. It just happens.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. Growing up Filipino, you just never know what to be. They tell you you're either too skinny, too fat, and there's no middle range.
Yeah.
What, like, can I not just like the way I look? Like, they don't give you any room for that.
And like, okay, it's not a diss, but like when they say that to you, and then you look at the titos with the beer belly, like, why don't you say anything to them? Like,
why is it just me?
Yeah, I'm just a kid.
I know, man. It's wild, but not everyone is always insecure about their body. Some people love the way they look physically.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you tackle body weight, but like, what other insecurities have you had to deal with?
I think one of the biggest ones would have to be like intellect, right? Because when you come from like an Asian household, they already, right, the moment you're born, they give you high standards.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, yo, my mom wanted me to become like either a doctor, an engineer, or even a pilot, you know? And having that mindset, you know, in elementary, it's like, oh, I'm not the smartest kid. My elementary, they were pretty smart,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm getting like what, like B's, and, B minuses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, these aren't the grades that's gonna get me to become an engineer, right? And I just kept trying harder, like it didn't work. And then going to high school made it worse. You know, this is when you see percentages.
That's
you know?
that's also when you get into like the bigger fish. Like there's a lot more smart people.
Yeah,
now.
like and dude, you know, I'm taking these courses. I'm trying. Like, oh, dude, I was not borderline for them. But I was like 60s and 70s, right? And I remember this one English class. I forgot his name, but he got 100% on the English exam in grade 9, and in that course with a 98. And I ended with like a 64. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like I just feel so stupid when I'm around smart people sometimes.
I feel you, man. My parents wanted me to become a lawyer, and I went into law class, you know, and I was surrounded by a lot of the smartest kids, you know, really passionate kids that are passionate about becoming a lawyer because, you know, that was their dream or whatever. I don't know. And I'm in there just like, it was the first period of the day, and I was never up for that class. You know, I would always take a nap in that class. Like my teacher, you know, she really passed me. She felt bad. She actually asked me. She's like, Dominic, like, are you depressed?
Oh.
She asked me that, and I didn't know what to say. I'm not diagnosed. I don't know, but I know I'm showing signs of it in front of her. I'm not putting in any effort. I feel like I have no purpose anymore, and I don't come in with full energy. So I just also feel so, you know, when you're in a class with all the smart people, like you just kind of like, I don't want to be here.
It's like, oh, I don't want to raise my hand either. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get the answer right or wrong.
And also being Filipino with insecurities, I feel like you use a lot of like comedic relief. So every time I got put into a group with these smart people, I go like, yeah, you know, just give me the easy part. You know, I'm stupid. So.
And I think that the worst is like when they know you, when they kind of think you're stupid already, so they already give it to you. Like, oh, that's
wow, yeah, that's how it's gonna be,
like,
right?
Wow. It's like before. For me, I try to take control, even though I don't know what I'm doing. I pretend I know what I'm doing, and then we end up getting a good mark. I'm like, I'm controlling the smart people, bro.
Yo, low key, like we that one kid in the group that doesn't do nothing, and we reap the rewards.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if you know how to work a business, like Gary Vee, bro, he failed school, you know,
man.
but like he's successful. He knows how to run VaynerMedia, but he doesn't know how to like do graphic design, maybe.
Yeah, just like he said, like Gary Vee says, you don't have like just because you get an F in all these courses or whatever doesn't mean it's for you.
Yeah,
it's okay to fail. Like I'm terrible at science. You put me in a science class, I will fail science. But guess what? I know a lot about film. If you put me in a film class, like right now,
oh, yo, he's proven it too.
I have experienced the highest grades of my life. So like I'm living it, you know what I mean? But you put me in a science class, you put me in a math class, it's not gonna turn out great.
Yeah,
it's just not me.
Like, bro, like one thing too, back in my high school experience, being my best friend at the time, Ian, we went to our grade 12 math exam. Like he was failing. He was like 30 something, right?
Oh Jesus!
Oh no, he was a 43. I remember. I was like a 55.
Yeah.
Going to exam, we finish. You know, we get our marks back like a couple weeks later, and I didn't want to see my mark because I'm like, I know I failed this. But she passed me and Ian. Ian didn't pass at all, but she passed him because she hated us. Okay. I'm like, yeah, math isn't for me. Yeah. You know, like this isn't gonna get me to where. I mean, it's gonna get me to where I am. But like at the time, math just wasn't for me.
Yeah, no math. Yeah, I think I failed math twice.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing to say, but also not embarrassing because, like we said, if it's not
our strong suit.
It's not your strong suit. Yeah. So
and like for those of you watching, like just because you fail at something doesn't mean you should put yourself down. Like if you're not good at it, then why continue doing it?
And it doesn't define who you are. You know, don't let this predicate your future. You have so much. Everyone has something to live for. They just got to find out what it is.
Yeah, and if you love, even though you failed the first time, let's say, but you love doing it, continue, bro. You might get better later on.
Yeah, man.
It's all passion.
So me and Ken wanted to talk about this because this is like, I feel like a step further into loving yourself. Just on a basis of like finding your passion and finding like almost like what you're meant to do on this earth.
Yeah.
Passions and hobbies kind of go hand in hand. I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so.
And when you find this, I feel like it's that moment of clarity that, oh, this is why I'm I'm here, why I wake up every morning to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just gave this analogy. It was almost like finding your passion is like finding your soulmate. It's like finding the one.
It's like finding that missing piece to the puzzle.
Like you date a bunch of other people, and then when you find the one, you go, oh, that's the one. And then same thing with your passion and what you love to do. Is like, oh, I'm gonna try this. Experiment. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and then I move on to the next thing, and then eventually, with a lot of time passing by, boom, I get there, and that it is what it is. Doesn't matter what age it happens. It'll happen. Just trust in the process, right? Yeah. I would tell my story, right? So for me, I'm passionate in film. I didn't know that for sure. I just knew that growing up, when I was a little kid, for as long as I could remember, my dad would watch a lot of action movies with me, and I was a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe growing up. And so when I was getting into the film class, I took it on chance. I didn't know I was going to be good at this. And the more I saw how good I was doing in the grades of my assignments, I was like, oh, let's go. Finally. I was in this law class, last period, but now I'm all fired up all of a sudden. And so then someone came in to present for the Vaughn Film Festival and said, at the end, you get to do this project where you could submit it. And if you're lucky enough or it's good, we pick you. And then you get to see yourself on the big screen. And I remember telling my boys, like, that's what I want to do. Let's go. Let's do it. So then I put in the work. I start writing for this. I wanted to act in it. I directed it. And then next thing you know, I just picture it all the time on screen. I just picture my vision, seeing us film, seeing, what we were able to accomplish. And then, waiting a few months. Next thing you know, I get an email. Oh, dude, you made it. So then I go home. I'm already like in shock. I'm like, no way I made it. And then I next thing you know, I'm sitting on one of those seats in the Cineplex theater, just like as if I was going to watch any other movie. But this time I'm watching myself.
Dude, that must have been like an amazing feeling for you.
Dude, yeah, man. And just like seeing people laugh at the things I wrote in as a joke, I was like, let's go. Like, that's what I wanted you guys to laugh. And so it was just one of those feelings. Like, I again, after seeing that, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Weren't you like one of the only grade 11s?
Yeah, no, everyone I talked to, so everyone came up to me that was also there. We were 1 out of 14 people in the province, and a lot of people came up to me and
they were province. I thought it was just
like Ontario, or like Toronto.
Okay,
I guess.
Yeah.
They came, like, I think any school is registered to do it, but like, so then a lot of people from other films, I really liked the other ones, and they came up to me and was like, oh, like, I really liked your fight scene, blah blah blah. And then I was like, no way. And then we catch up. We go like, oh, what grade are you guys in? Grade 12. I go, oh, wow.
Y'all are young, bro.
And then I was like, yeah, felt weird being like the youngest grade in there. And then we did this interview. And I was just like, yep, this is it. I want my next interview to happen soon, man. I want this again. And so I just know that this is where I'm meant to be. And now I'm in the Toronto Film School, and the more that I practice my craft and learn more about it, the more I'm just like, yep, I'm home. You know what I mean?
See? Home.
I'm home.
That's a big word.
That's the biggest one. I'm home.
Dude, yeah. I think that goes hand in hand. Passion and home. It's like, this is where you're meant to be.
Exactly.
As you said, like, it's where you belong. It's like,
yeah.
For me, I just like calling it like missing piece of the puzzle or whatnot, right? For me, it was just like designing, really.
Yeah.
Started off just grade 6. It wasn't the best idea, but I thought I looked cute. I thought I looked cool, and like, the girl's gonna love this. Grade 6 me. I'm. It was Civi's Day. I put on my infamous Filipino track jacket. I put on a brown vest. It was like by Gap with fur, and then I look at myself in the mirror like, you're bogey. You are bogey, bro.
Yeah, man.
And then seeing the pictures now, I'm like, oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, okay.
But from then on, I was like, I kind of liked it, but I didn't get into it until grade 11, where I had to do an ISU. And I didn't realize how much time was passing by where I was customizing these pants to kind of bring like fancy or like high fashion and like streetwear together. Like it was a different statement. And I was doing the work, sewing, whatever. I didn't have a sewing machine, but I'm like, this is so much fun, doing it.
Yeah.
But hours passed. I'm like, why am I having fun, dude?
Yeah.
I usually think of projects like, oh, I gotta get a good mark. This time I didn't care.
It didn't feel like work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I like this.
I'm liking this.
Yeah, and then I did more projects and whatnot. I made tote bags. I made different customized pants. Obviously, my work was still rough because I was still learning, but I knew it was just like something I liked. And I remember like my coworker who's into like, you know, fashion or whatever, she saw my designs and some of them, and she actually liked them. So now, as of right now, I'm like making a pair of pants for her. You know, I'm kind of like 3 years behind because I told her I'd make her one,
Okay.
but I never did until now. But yeah, it's like I never knew I liked fashion until I started. You know, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just like what he's trying to say is like, guys, just even if you don't have this feeling yet, it just means keep trying things,
Yeah.
keep trying to do things. When it comes to finding passion, I always say like when you're alive, you just feel like you exist. But when
Yeah.
you find where you're meant to be and what you want to do, you're living life.
Definitely, bro.
Yo, that's deep.
Yo, clip that.
But another thing, like, just also to put it out there is like, I feel like as humans, we're, you know, there's a way we try to explain our life. Like, why am I alive? You know, we try to find our place on this earth, like our purpose.
Yeah.
And so when you find your passion, it's almost like, oh, like this is what I'm meant to do. And then you become more about what you do. So when you do more of your passion, you feel a sense of belonging to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have that label for yourself. And it's very important because like you don't want to go on in your life just feeling lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, why?
And then some people don't even discover their passion until like what, their 30s or whatnot.
Yeah.
Or even like later on in life. Like guys, don't be like scared of like not being able to find your passion, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll find it eventually. Just keep looking.
Yeah, like,
you know?
Again, like we've said this before and we've seen this on many motivational posts. It's like you're never late. You're really on time.
Yeah.
You're just, your time hasn't come yet. To bring back How I Met Your Mother back into the mix, we're going to be talking about an episode called Robots versus Wrestlers. In this episode, the gang want to watch Robots versus Wrestlers.
I'd love to watch that.
And Ted feels like he can't be himself because he wants to be more high class and sophisticated. And the group kind of just shun him and not let him be him. And I feel like when you want to feel that love for yourself, you want to be around a group that either accept you for who you are or just like, let's see, you know, they're just more like you in a sense. For example, in our group, Kenneth is the only one that's really into business.
Yeah.
Everyone's a lot more like diverse in what they're interested in, and Kenneth's very into business. And he's been waiting for the longest time
for like anyone, bro, anyone.
For any,
especially Don.
For me to get into business. And one day on his birthday, which is recent, very recent actually. Yeah,
I'm 27.
Yeah, I came over and I was like, I just had this sudden passion for business and marketing, and we got into like about like a 4-hour.
No, dude, you came at like, I don't know what time you came, but we talked for like 10 hours straight.
We talked for like 8 to 10 hours straight, just talking about business. And Kenneth goes to me, he goes, "Finally, bro, you know how long I've been waiting for you to talk to me about this kind of things." And then right then and there, I realized, wow, like now Ken's allowed to bring out a side of him that he loves. And I felt like I was giving him his birthday present right there, you know, like I was just giving him what he wanted this whole time.
Bro, when you want to talk to talk something about some like a specific anything really, but no, there's like no one to talk to. It's like it's hard.
Yeah, like it feels, you can't feel like you can be yourself. You know what I mean? And that's basically what happened. And I feel that same way in our friend group sometimes when I want to talk about movies, and then you guys kind of look at me like, oh, here he goes again. You know, I you can't get away from that feeling. If you're passionate about something and you want to speak to your friends about it and they're not exactly interested or
like just don't know that much about it.
They have no input and they can't give you what you want, I guess. And it just comes down to like finding that group that is interested into that. Like, you know, as soon as I got into film school, it was awesome hearing all these, I mean, not a lot of them
like-minded individuals.
Yeah, like it wasn't exactly like a lot of them are into Star Wars and Harry Potter. Maybe it might not be the same genre, but you know, I got into a breakout room. This is how I met like the two guys I'm really close with in film school, which is Kyle and Mags, and we actually started talking about Marvel. And it was funny because we were the only three that like really liked Marvel, because everyone else was like, oh, like I know Martin Scorsese like hates Marvel films, and we're just like, they're like, oh, like, and everyone was introducing themselves and they were mentioning all these good movies, like, oh wow, Citizen Kane is the greatest movie of all time, and I'm like, I've never even watched Citizen Kane. Oh my gosh, I know a lot of film people are gonna hate me right now, but I'm sorry, I haven't watched Citizen Kane. I'll make sure to get into that. But you know, me, Kyle, and Mags, we watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we were just talking about Daredevil and all that stuff, and we were just super into it. And right then and there, like, I felt like I was like, wow, this is the conversation I've been waiting to have. But every time I try to talk to Kenneth and Summer about the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Because we're not that invested.
they just, oh yeah, I watched Black Panther.
It's like, oh yeah, you know, he did the Wakanda Forever. Yeah, he's sick.
And I'm like, these guys just watch the basic Marvel
We're just casual viewers.
They are casual viewers, exactly. And so that's why I just was like, but now I feel like I found a home for my film side.
And that's good, bro.
And it's good that you found me for business.
I mean, for on my side too is like, okay, yeah, there's the business side, and then I have a lot of friends I can talk to about like streetwear, right? Like one person I consistently talk to about streetwear on a daily would be like my coworker Chelsea. You know, we just send each other like posts of like, oh, this look, buy this shoe. You know, we're kind of like bad persuasion, like, yo, buy this, right?
Gotcha.
It just looks cool, you know?
Yeah, of course.
It's fun talking about something you're passionate about.
Yeah,
or something you're like common interest, really.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, you know, this.
Like, it's one thing being a part of like the culture in like social media, and it's another thing about having like a close friend in the culture too. So yeah, I understand that. Like, it's understandable. I felt the same way when, you know, I train with these certain, like, I train in a team for Taekwondo. Like, you know, I'm with people that are training hard for competition, and they have the same mind on that. I feel that, you know, like, it's almost like you have a team. I feel like having a team is just, it's also a way to grow that interest more. It motivates you more. You have like people to look forward to impressing too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, I want to make this film so that when they watch, they go, oh my God, you did that thing. And you same thing with you know, oh, I'm going to wear this specific piece of clothing. So then, you know, when they see it, it's like, I see you, you know.
I mean, you won't get this, but bro, on New Year's, I wear like my Hater Ackerman sweater.
Oh, okay.
I know you guys don't know what that is, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, just being in a group with individuals that are just alike, like you, or just even accept you the way you are and let you be you.
Yeah, and
one of the greatest things to, you know, further loving yourself.
And one of the joys of it too is, in our friend group, you know, we all have like different likes and interests.
We're diverse, right?
Yeah, so like Dom likes film. He can like tell us about it, right? And although we're not like know much about it, it's still like knowing, nice hearing you're passionate about something, right?
Yeah.
And you can like educate us, because I feel like if I was in an environment where you only talk about one specific thing, it's like, oh, that's it.
Does he have nothing to his personality?
So it's good to kind of have a bit of diversity.
Gotcha.
Because like, you know, I'm into fashion, you're into film. It's just, you know, at some point
we can bounce around.
Yeah.
And like I feel like we both even have like a slight bit of knowledge into each other's niches. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. Like, we talk about business ideas all the time, and our ideas we've learned. Okay, yeah.
Now we do.
And you know, our ideas just clash, and it just makes sense.
Yeah,
you know? Like, it's good having different inputs from everything.
Yeah, and like I remember you said one time like, oh, like this one person, he resells shoes, but then he like did some or designed shoes or something like that, and he researches into let's say a botanist, and it's just good to learn off from different things to really further your knowledge.
Yeah,
and
definitely
expand your way of thinking, really. And so yeah, I think it's great that we both, even though we're so much different, there's a lot of ways that me and Kenneth are alike, which is why
like common ground.
Yeah,
at some point.
I think the best way I say it is like, wow, we're so much alike, but there's enough differences to make things still interesting.
Yeah,
you know. All right, so if you guys don't know, Kenneth actually has this one story of when he was in OCAD. As most of our casual viewers know, he got told something.
I got shot on,
and he dropped out of this.
Well, not dropped out.
Prestigious artistic design school.
Ontario College of Art and Design. Fuck you guys.
All right, tell us the story.
All right, so it was on March 4th, 2020.
Oh, wow, he remembers the date, guys.
How do you not remember the date? This is like someone just tells you like, all right, you know, your shit. All right, basically what happened was I had a project due, and I only ended up doing half the assignment, right? And don't get me wrong, I loved going to that school to start. But later on, I just killed my passion.
Gotcha,
you know?
Gotcha.
So then I go in there, I tell my professor, like, sir, I only have half of my project done. Can I still present? He's like, yeah, sure. And he was like over the table, and he whispered under his breath, you don't belong here. And then just walked away.
Wow.
Walked away. And I turned to my classmate, like, did you hear that? And like, Can you repeat what he said? Like, I had to make sure I heard what I heard.
I've heard this story so many times, and it still shocks me. Like, what kind of teacher tells you, like, wow, like, you don't belong here, dude?
Dude, you're in a state of shock.
Yeah.
You know, like, seeing or hearing the words of someone you kind of look up to belittling you.
Yeah.
And telling you you don't belong here, even though you love doing it.
And you still want to be a designer, right? Like, you still want to do something in design?
Yeah, for sure in the future. Like, right now, like, my mindset has changed, and I've had a different drive.
You have, like, a different, like,
Yeah.
vision on it. So then why still do it? If someone at, you know, like a professor tells you, like, dog, you don't belong here. What do you do? Like, what? I know if it was me or, like, any other person, like, just saying, like, telling them, oh, yeah, don't wear that outfit. Like, you look ugly. Like, don't do that. And then you end up not wearing that. But in your head, you're, like, looking in the mirror, like, you know, I really wanted to wear that outfit. And, like, I bought those clothes.
Like, oh, yeah, I feel good and whatever, right?
Yeah, like, what changes that what's that shift in mindset in terms of that?
Well, to be honest, I was in a state of shock when that happened, and I guess I just believed in myself more than ever since that happened, and just being criticized on other things. Like, I remember this one post I had, right? It was I went out with, like, my shadow ones. I replaced the laces with fucking wires. It got posted on, like, some alternate 6 page or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I'll try to post up the picture, and people were commenting saying, "Oh, it looks nice. I like it. I fuck with it." People were saying, "Oh, this man's a waist suit.
He's a broke boy,
broke boy laces and whatnot."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was receiving equal amounts of love and hate, and from there, I was kind of enticed by the hate comments because it never got to me, right? And I know that's a weird thing for people to say or people to hear, because I guess in a sense, it's just once you know what you love and know what you kind of just go with it and just not care about what anyone else says, you know?
Yeah, but, like, what if you do love something? Like, what if I'm a dancer and I love dance, and then the second I post a TikTok video and I get all these comments like, "Why are you trying so hard?" Blah blah blah. Like, what do you tell those people? Like, what is in your mind when, you know, those comments are starting to get to you? Did it ever get to you?
No. Like, I know it seems that it's too prideful, but no. Comments never got to me or anything like that. I was always, you know, using positive affirmation as a way to, like, cope, or just a way to, like, strengthen myself and, you know, so build self-confidence, knowing I believe in myself. Because why would you let anyone else's opinion get to you when you know what you love what you do, you know? And if you know what you love to do, then you just keep going. You don't care what anyone says, because you're you. What are they to say to you?
Yeah, and, like, they're all strangers, right? Like, they're all just random people that don't know what they're doing. If they have the time to, like, comment on, like, whatever you've done, then they're doing nothing. Bro. They're insecure. Like, I remember watching this video. It was a speaker. I think his name is Jason Capital. And he was at a thing, and like a conference, and this guy he was volunteered, and he goes, like, ask me if I think you're cool. And he goes, "Fuck no, I don't think you're cool." And then he's like, "Listen, what do I know about you? I don't know a thing about you. Why does my opinion matter? Now, if all these other people now think you're cool, they don't matter either. Whether it's a good or bad compliment, those compliments shouldn't get into your head, because they have no idea who you are. They haven't seen your life. They don't know anything about your story. So, like, I feel like that's where Ken's coming from. It's like, you guys don't know that I love this so much, and I'm so invested deeply, and you don't know where I come from. So why am I gonna let a random stranger get to me? Ken has that ability so strongly. I tend to have this, you know, little thing where little things get to me, but thanks to his guidance here,
you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. He tells me, like, bro, why would you care about those people? They don't matter.
Honestly, not giving a fuck is one of the best things I've ever learned. Because you block out everyone, you know, you're just doing you, man, you know, and you're enjoying life. And you just believe yourself more.
Why are people trying to ruin your vibe, bro? They don't pass the vibe check.
Like, bro, a bunch of these people just want to see you fail, but, like, prove them wrong.
Exactly.
You know, once you're at the top, like, oh, hey, I know that dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yo. And then your head, like, nah, you shout on me, bro.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that post where it goes, at first they'll laugh at you, then they'll watch you, and then they'll praise you.
Yeah, bro.
So Ken uses a lot of hate as motivation to really just You know, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Yeah, not even that, but like I also use it. I like laughing at the hate comments, bro, or like anything.
Yeah, no,
hateful.
Ken is a different breed in that.
It's amusing. It's like, hey, that's I find that pretty funny too.
Oh yeah, no, also, if people are hating on you, that means you're doing something right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, hey.
Like, bro, I remember I came into work one time, right? I was like wearing something different.
Gotcha.
Right, and you know, people know me, like I'm into fashion or whatever, like making these weird, stuff or adding weird stuff. So my one coworker, manager at the time, he has more like simplistic style, just like hype beast, sports wear type shit. So I come in, I had like pins on my pants or whatever, right? I forgot exactly what I wore. He goes up to me, he's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh,
right, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh, he hates it. I love it." It's like, cause then my other coworker came in, he's like, if they hate on you, like in a fashion sense, that means you're onto something. And I'm like, oh, that made me feel better too.
Oh, and if I'm not wrong, I can find this post. Kenneth, he brought up the story about how he got bashed on for putting in wires into his shoes. But I remember reposting a fashion post actually that had a bunch of slides of other people putting in wires into their clothes, into their shoes, and I remember saying, Ken did this first. So, I mean, hey, Ken's he's doing something right.
I'm a different breed. But yeah, man, just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, just don't give a fuck.
It.
A lot of the times that if you don't have like this don't give a fuck mentality, I feel like a lot of the times you let a lot of the things you say to yourself get to you. But the thing is, a lot of the times what you say to yourself or like think about yourself isn't even what you're thinking. It's something that you've heard from another person.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else was insecure about this certain thing. Now you're constantly thinking, shit, should I think about this within myself? Or like someone that does hate you, they tell you straight up, like, you're this, you're that. And then it gets to you. And now you're in this situation where like, you just think yourself in a bad way,
Yeah.
And I think the best way to counter that
is
at least to try to counter that is like, using positive affirmations for yourself and just trying to like say good things. Cause I feel like this is just me. I feel like the more that you say things, you don't even realize that it becomes true. It like almost becomes this placebo effect of you're like, if you were to say you're beautiful and you say it enough times, it sounds funny, but then at some point you start believing in it. Yeah. I don't know the logic behind it all psychologically, but like, I feel like that's just true.
It is like, cause I also think like it just builds self-confidence as well.
Yeah.
Cause the more you say it, the more you believe it. Without even knowing, like
damn, I look good today.
Yeah, dude, I do that too. Like post COVID, I'd come up with these different outfits, before work, even though I'm just on the subway, whatever. Yeah. Like little things like that, like telling myself like, oh, I look good in this.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I look cute. Yeah. I look cool. Right? And like I start believing in
yourself, King.
Yeah, like you feel yourself. Yeah, exactly. Feeling yourself, and you just feel good, bro. You love yourself. Like, this is how I really feel.
Yeah, and it's awesome seeing people on TikTok that just like compliment you because they want to build that positive community and just like, it's just nice. Like, why tear people down? What's the point of that? And so it's like, you should be able to tell yourself that being your own cheerleader, because not a lot of people are gonna, give you that reassurance that you're doing good today and that you're feeling great. So like, because I'm not that positive of a guy. I know Kenneth's more of a positive guy. Like, just, taking into account of my experience, I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at telling myself, dog, you're doing good today. If I already have a bad start to my day, if I drop something or like, slip up, it's already a bad day for me. I let it get to my head. How do you like convert that into being super optimistic, almost like, and just kind of, it's almost like this blind confidence.
Actually, it's just like, I'm just living life, bro. Like, I know I mess up, we all make mistakes. Like, I don't let it bring me down, because if it does, it just tears my whole day. Like, let's say I did horrible on a test, right? Like, I tell myself, like, back in not elementary, but high school, I did bad on this test. Like, next one I'll do good. And eventually I do put in the work, and not the best mark, but it's still better than what I did before. I'm like, yes, I did good, and just slightly putting in, like, it's like 1%, slowly getting better 1%, and just start believing it more. And once you start saying it, you start doing it without even knowing it.
Yo,
you said.
That's wow.
Like, dude, like, I think
I know what you're talking about, because that happens to me too. Like, at first I'll just be like, you're one of the best boxers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start training as if I am the best boxer. It's almost like a fake it till you make it mentality.
But then it becomes real.
It becomes freaking real. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what was it? I think before, like, positive affirmations, it kind of turns into the subject of manifestation.
Yeah.
You know, I know both of us, we strongly believe in that.
We strongly believe in manifestation. Like as much as we pray for things, I'm pretty sure manifestation is actually in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure.
Someone
Brought light to that on my thing. But yeah. No, go on. Sorry.
Oh, yes. So yeah, manifestation kind of leads into it. Like positive affirmations is one thing, but manifestation is also a different thing where you put it out there in the universe. You know, like, okay, let's say I'm going to be successful, right?
Yeah.
And you keep saying it every day and you start believing in it and eventually you start seeing little progress. Like for me, one thing that I always did to myself was every time in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and say, you're going to be a Nike footwear designer, right?
Yeah.
And at one point, I had the capability of doing that because I was like just drawing shoes, you know, customizing and everything, right? And eventually it became my lock screen and I started believing in it more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, damn. And then when I went to OCAD, it's like, oh, yo, I can do it.
Nah, I know what you're talking about.
And then I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. But, you know, things change. You know, that's just life, man.
No, but like, I get that. Like, I remember, I already told the story today in the podcast, but I talk about getting into the Vaughn Film Festival, right? Like, as soon as the people from the Vaughn Film Festival came in to present and go like, oh, you could enter, blah, blah, blah. I remember sitting there just like really in tune with the presentation on entering and all that. And I turned to my boys, I go, we're going to make that. I point at them, I'm like, we're doing that. We're getting there. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in the theater watching myself on screen. And that's just that manifestation moment of like, wow, I put it out there and I go out and achieve it. And this can be done anytime. As long as you really say it, set your mind to it and you go ahead and do it. It's like, fake it till you make it. Almost.
Kind of, yeah.
In a way it is, but you know, at the same time, as long as you do it, you're not really faking it, you know. You're making the possibility of the outcome more reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And over time, once you start saying it more, just love yourself, believe in yourself, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tune into our Spotify. Follow us on our Spotify. Follow our social media. Links will be in the description below. As always, it's been your host, Dom, and my co-host,
Ken.
And also, please get ready to watch the short film that we have coming up. It's going to be a good one. At least we intend for it to be. Always leave your ratings on that, and we will always take your comments into consideration. That's been it. Peace out.